Hey, what's up, y'all? I know some of you probably already heard, but Mayweather's lawyers are pushing to have him released, so he can finish up the rest of his term, his sentence in you know, house arrest. The reason why is because originally, Mayweather was going to be stuck in a cell 23 hours a day, unable to come out, you know, just for 1 hour a day during the week, and then eventually, he'd be allowed to, socialize and come out of his cell and stuff like other people who's up there. But problem is, it's been almost 2 weeks, and that hasn't happened yet. And what happened is they had a doctor, under supervision of the guards, and the police or whatever, do a checkup on Mayweather, which lasted for about an hour and a half. And it said that, the administrative segregation, keeping him locked up like that threatens his boxing career because he's been getting less than 800 calories a day, you know, and he can't really go out and do a bunch of exercise because he's only allowed 1 hour out of his cell. And what happens is, when you combine those two together, what happens is uh, that's what causes people to lose muscle mass. You know, um, what happens is since your body, uh, you know, has digested all the food, what it does is, it starts eating away at itself. It can damage your muscles, and since he's not getting any exercise for real, like the normal amount of exercise he normally does, it's more damaging because his muscles won't be able to stay strong. You can't just be, losing weight like that and not working out your muscles, or else, they're gonna take damage. So because of that, um, they're gonna see if they can release him to you know, house arrest for the rest of his sentence. But besides that, um, got some other thoughts on my mind. I haven't been able to re-watch the Bradley Pacquiao fight yet because of work. I've been at work, but I do I do have some thoughts on my mind about it. Um, you know, people got all their different ideas about why Pacquiao lost, why they cheated him. Some people say it's because Manny Pacquiao's time as cash cow has come to an end. And or I also heard another person say that it's because he didn't listen to Bob. Because he didn't listen to Bob whenever Bob was talking about or because he was delaying the fight, to watch the NBA finals, said he wasn't coming out till that was done or whatever. People, or because Bradley is going to be Aram's next cash cow. Um, I don't think that's it. I think some of those play a factor, but I don't think that that's the main reason. The main reason I think is because um, Pacquiao. Some people, well, I guess I should say like the only people who won't agree with this is Pacquiao's fans. But the main reason that Pacquiao is famous, people um will disagree, no doubt, but the main reason that Pacquiao has as big a name as he does right now is because of Floyd Mayweather. You know, and yes, Pacquiao was still going to be famous, without Floyd, but he became even more famous because of Floyd. And the reason why is, Pacquiao was built up as the first person who's going to defeat Mayweather. That was the main reason Pacquiao's famous. You know, that that's it. I mean, it could have been anybody, but look at you got to look at the time frame. When did Pacquiao start getting famous? It was like 2005, 2006. You know, it was around that time. And what happened at that time? At that time, what happened is, Floyd had just left Arum. You know, because of that, Arum didn't have a cash cow. Oscar De La Hoya left him, and Floyd just left him. His next person was supposed to be Cotto. But Cotto, his name wasn't big enough at that time. So since Cotto's name wasn't big enough, they had to go with Pacquiao. And not only that, since he was mad at Mayweather, he had to go ahead and come up with a way to make Mayweather look bad, basically, and come up with a cash cow who, to the general public, seemed like he could defeat Mayweather, and that was Pacquiao. And when you look at it, Pacquiao is the most ideal choice because Cotto was still coming up. Not many people knew about him. They saw that fight with Arturo Gatti, and they seen Floyd handle Henry Barcelos. People was just like, well, that because they was using that as a gauge, for how Cotto would do against Mayweather, and they're like, well, Cotto will get destroyed. Not only that, Bob Arum at that time also said that Cotto is not ready to fight Floyd, and that Cotto's name isn't big enough. He said Cotto would need another half a year, And after Floyd left, he said, people say he ducked Cotto, but not many people know what Floyd said about the situation. Floyd said, Arum got a chokehold on Cotto's career. I'm my own boss, and when Cotto becomes an entrepreneur, then we can talk. And people don't know that, but you got to look at what happened. Cotto left there, fight made. That shows Floyd is a man of his word. He said that once Cotto become his own boss and stuff, since he wouldn't have to worry about being controlled by Arum, the fight could get made, and the fight did get made. And Floyd been telling people forever. Bob Arum been the one keeping fights from happening. But back to Manny Pacquiao. Like I said, look at Pacquiao's record at the time that he started getting famous, or it's time that his name started really getting big. Pacquiao had not lost in who knows how long, and not only that, was winning his fights by knockout. So because he was winning fights by knockout and stuff like that, and because of how long his streak had been going, that was the most ideal choice. It could have been somebody else, somebody else that seemed more believable than Pacquiao. Bob Arum would have went with him instead, but that wasn't the case. Now people don't realize this. People do not realize this, and so those who pay attention to what's been going on, they already know. Bob Arum is an ploy to to put another halt in the fight between Pacquiao and Mayweather. Another thing to stop it from happening. And what's going to happen is, around November is the time that Mayweather would be ready to step into the ring again, because, depending on whether or not he gets good behavior, he gets out, like August or September, depending on whether or not they're going to take off a month for good behavior. And what happens then is they're going to have these negotiations, these fake negotiations. Well, fake on Aram's part, because you've been hearing Floyd the whole time saying, I want to fight, I want to fight. You don't hear Manny Pacquiao saying he wants. You just say, well, my kids say they want me to fight him before I retire, and the fans want it. But when it comes down to it, Pacquiao always fall back and say, whatever my promoter wants, that he doesn't have any say. And you see what Aram is doing. When that time comes, Aram is gonna stop and say, what, Mayweather doesn't want to fight. We're gonna do either that fourth fight with Marquez or another fight with Bradley. That's what's gonna happen. And the whole thing is to try and build up pay-per-views for Manny, because you already seen that Floyd got the top 3 highest grossing, or is it the top 4 now? Highest grossing non-heavyweight fights. Because I know the top 3 before his fight with Cotto was his fight with De La Hoya. Second place was the fight with Ortiz, and third was the fight with Mosley in terms of revenue generated from pay-per-view. Those were the top 3 fights. Now with this fight, he got the top 4 spots for non-heavyweight fights, the highest grossing pay-per-view sales, or revenue generated from pay-per-view sales. So, with that in mind, another thing, Manny Pacquiao, 15 pay-per-views, 9.9 pay-per-view buys. Floyd Mayweather, 9 pay-per-views, 9.6 pay-per-view buys. So Pacquiao got 6 more pay-per-view appearances, but he's only 0.3 million more. And revenue generated from that, Mayweather has done millions more in generated pay-per-view revenue than Manny Pacquiao, and that's with 6 less fights. 6. Okay, like if you know how to do math, the number of fights in percentage that Pacquiao has to Mayweather, it's 166% of Mayweather's fights on pay-per-view. So you're saying that 166%, this dude's only doing 0.3 million more in actual buys and doing millions less in revenue generated. That means Mayweather on average is selling more buys and at a higher price than Pacquiao. So all that talk about 50-50, do what Schaefer said. Get that accounting firm in and, get them to calculate what it's worth. Another thing, Floyd offered Pacquiao $40 million, and considering what just happened, people is going back and saying, but you know what, that $40 million looks better than what just happened to him now, because now he's not going to be getting big guarantees. People saying Floyd was being crazy with it. But now you see that Floyd was right, though. Look at it. That $40 million is just for Pacquiao. If he would have taken that from Floyd, he wouldn't have had to share with Aram or Top Rank. Because Aram takes a cut, and there's also a cut from it that goes to Top Rank itself. And not only that, Aram still had a guarantee that he had to give Pacquiao for the fight, and then whatever Pacquiao makes from ticket sales. So Pacquiao was still going to make a lot of money for that fight. It was going to be more money than he made for the whole year of 2011, because that $40 million was just $10 million less than what he took home for his 2 fights in 2011. So that's something for y'all to think about. And since I can't do videos longer than 15 minutes no more, I'm out.